Let's know what's happening, what's going on. Cantalupo, the Vegas Golden Knights shocked us this year with a great year as an expansion team, but they're not the first. Just because it's your first season doesn't mean that you have to suck. Here are 10 expansion teams who shocked us with a great season. The 2009 Seattle Sounders. This team was built through the MLS Super Draft. They signed a USL star named Sebastian Latour. I think that's it. They also got Tyrone Marshall from Toronto FC. Those two guys led them to a 12-7-11 finish. That was third in the Western Conference. They ended up losing to the Houston Dynamo in the conference finals. But hey, we're talking about MLS, baby! 1967 Minnesota North Stars. This was part of the 1967 huge NHL expansion. They were one of 6 new teams to join the league. The North Stars finished with 69 points. That was enough back in the day to make it to the playoffs. They were led by a guy named Wayne Connolly, who had 35 goals and 56 points. The North Stars beat the LA Kings in the first rounds of the playoffs. Then they lost to the Blues in the playoff semifinals, but still a season for the ages. The 1925 Pottsville Maroons, yeah baby, Pottsville. 18 teams were featured in the 1924 NFL season. Yeah, we're talking about football. Pottsville was one of the few new teams added for that 1925 season. Pottsville finished with a 10-2 record. The Chicago Cardinals were awarded the NFL championship for owning the best record. Some say that Pottsville was the best team, though. That being said, they actually broke league rules for competing in games against league rules. Does that make sense? I don't know. It was 1925. Did anything make sense? 1993 Florida Panthers. This team was built through an expansion draft. There they landed a star goalie in John Van Beesbrook. Scott Mellenby had 30 goals, 60 points. Florida went 33, 34, and 17. They had an even goal differential. They were an excellent team in the modern era. They missed the postseason by just 1 point, but that being said, the next year they reached the Stanley Cup final only a year after becoming a new team. 1998 Chicago Fire, third season in MLS history. The Chicago Fire and Miami Fusion were new franchises. The Fire finished second in the West with 56 points. They actually wound up winning the 1998 MLS Cup and the 1998 US Open Cup. MLS, baby! The 1994 Baltimore CFLers, Las Vegas, Shreveport, and Baltimore were given CFL expansion teams in the 1994 season. Does that make much sense? It's the Canadian Football League. Well, anyway, Baltimore finished with 12 wins, 6 losses, a 130-plus point differential. They reached the Grey Cup final. They lost to the BC Lions on a last-second field goal. But then they won the Grey Cup in 95, and the Ravens were awarded an NFL franchise, and boom, they moved to Montreal. 1967 St. Louis Blues. That's again part of this huge NHL expansion. They finished third in the West with 70 points. They did reach the Stanley Cup final, so the Vegas Golden Knights were not the first expansion team to ever do this. They were swept by Montreal in the finals. That being said, every team they had to face was also an expansion team, so should it count? 2017 Atlanta United. Atlanta went 15-9-10 with 55 points, a plus 30 goal differential. They were fourth in the Eastern Conference. They lost to the Columbus Crew in the knockout round, but that is just the start of something special, and they're actually selling out Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's what it's called, right? That is what the new stadium in Atlanta is called. Yeah, it is. Check on that. But yeah, that is. They're creating some sort of nice dynamic there. The 1966 Chicago Bulls. You got Guy Rogers, Bob Boozer. Those guys averaged 18 points per game. Then you have Jerry Sloan, before he was coach, averaging 17.4 points per game. The Bulls went 33-48, which doesn't sound good, but they qualified for the playoffs and then were swept by the St. Louis Hawks in the West semifinals. Red Kerr was named Coach of the Year. Rogers and Sloan went to the All-Star game. The 2017 Vegas Golden Knights, our boys in Vegas, they were built mostly through the 2017 expansion draft. Marc-Andre Fleury had an MVP-like season. William Karlsson had 43 goals, 78 points. 5 guys had 50-plus points. They were a huge, true team effort. Vegas won the Pacific Division. They knocked off the Kings, Sharks, and Jets to reach the Stanley Cup Finals. They fell to Alexander Ovechkin and the Capitals in 5 games, but still a season for the ages and beloved underdogs. What was your favorite expansion team? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Until next time, I'm Mike Cantalupo. Thanks for watching.